Gender default. That's flattering. So I'd just like to start by congratulating the NFL for getting the officials back, right? Any football fans here? Because I'm not a fan. I have nothing invested in the world of football whatsoever, and relative to that information, I was actually pretty brutally affected by this lockout, psychologically, seeing what was going on out there. Like I said, I don't know much about the sport, but I'm fairly confident that if one team catches the football, the other team doesn't get a touchdown. And also, I don't think that the refs are supposed to determine the outcome of a professional sport via rock, paper, scissors. The situation was getting so ridiculous at one point that I believe my 92-year-old great aunt, who's such a confused woman, she thinks that I'm my own grandmother, and that Mitt Romney is running as a female candidate, was like, this is getting a little absurd. And Reggie had enough. That's my aunt's name. So. No, I had to explain it. It's important.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, sir. Do you ever find that you change your principles according to the convenience of the situation? You know, like, people are always asking me why I don't have my phone number on Facebook. I'm like, are you kidding? I'm not going to promote that kind of information in public. But the other night, I really needed to get in touch with someone because I was drunk and lonely. And I had to go through like 10 people's profiles, and I couldn't find anyone's phone number. And my initial reaction was like, what the hell? Doesn't anyone trust anyone anymore? Or like, you know, if you find out someone's stalking someone, you're like, psycho. But like when you're belayed outside your ex-boyfriend's window with a video camera, it's like, sorry for caring. Few people know what I'm talking about. So my dad was a health nut. When I was younger, he would tell me that eating tomatoes is just like having candy. No, it's not the funny part yet. I'll cue you. So now I just explained to him that me sleeping all day and living off of him permanently is just like me getting a job and moving on. Do you ever find that when you have to describe someone who's a different race than you are at a total loss? And what I'm obviously talking about is white people having to describe people who aren't white. The white people are laughing. I was at the gym the other day, and by the gym I clearly mean the bar. And I had given the bartender my credit card, and well, she was Asian. And you can see I'm having difficulty saying that even now, like it's a curse word. And I had actually lost track of the bartender, which was an unusual event. So another bartender was asking me, what does she look like? We'll find her. And I kind of started to sweat a little, kind of started hyperventilating. I was like, well, she was medium height. She had hair. There was a face. And I do believe her respiratory system was involved. And I don't know, it's almost like by just alluding to someone's skin color, you're inherently being offensive in some way. White people fear that, especially white Jewish people. Another time, I was checking out at a clothing store, and the woman at the register asked me if anyone had helped me. And in fact, someone had helped me. And she was a black person. And this time, this woman was asking me, she was describing people and saying, did you, do you know what she looks like? Was she black? And I kind of froze and was like, okay, got this. It's like, define black. Because I felt like it was a trick. Like, somehow I was going to be like implicitly perceived as racist just for confirming the answer to her question. So I kind of tried to work around it. I was like, well, if there was a dark skin contest, she would win. If they needed an understudy on the Bill Cosby show, she would probably make more sense. I never really trust these arcade fun zones, like Chuck E. Cheese, for instance. First of all, the mascot is a human-sized rodent who is clearly suffering from some rare, severe form of facial edema. And now they're revamping him. I don't know if people have seen this, it's pretty breaking topical news. But the people over at Chuck E. Cheese felt the need to create a younger, hipper mascot. Which has somehow translated into a starving, bitter heroin addict. He's like emaciated, has sort of a sadistic look, and he's doing like windmills on an electric guitar for some reason. I don't know, it kind of makes me wonder if the people working on this ad campaign have ever seen an actual mouse. This is public information that anyone can access. Also, there's always someone at these places who doesn't quite belong. You know, some like snaggletooth guy with long fingernails, kind of lurking around, not quite committing to that Pac-Man game he's been sitting at for far too long. You know, Chuck E. Cheese, where a kid can be a kid, and where an adult can kidnap your kid. I'd like to move on to something a little more solemn than child kidnapping, apparently. I feel terrible for people who are lactose intolerant. It's no laughing matter. If I ever found out that I was allergic to dairy, well, I would quite frankly kill myself. And I would do it by eating a large wheel of cheese. It'd be a terrible scene, you know, my suicide note would be written in sour cream. Baby Bell wrappers would be strewn about recklessly. There'd be a noose crafted out of so many string cheeses hanging from the ceiling. And I don't know, if I was feeling particularly poetic that night, perhaps I would have left out a tub of cream cheese that expired on the same date. Let it register. Got a little meta on you guys. I was watching cartoons with a friend a few days ago, and he was saying how Tom and Jerry really subverts the convention. Which is clearly a dick statement to make about a cartoon. Because it is a cartoon and not a women gender studies course at Sarah Lawrence. But with that said, you know, he's saying is atypical because the mouse is always terrorizing the cat. And I thought, there are some notes of truth to that. That dynamic is just a little unrealistic. Oh, also, I don't know if you've noticed, but they're immortal and can digest entire kayaks. It's also a little bit odd. I went on a few dates with a guy a few years ago, and after a few dates, he confessed he'd been lying about his age, saying he was older than he actually was, and that he had been in grad school. And he told me that he was lying because he was afraid if he said he was younger than I was, I wouldn't go out with him. So, you know, I reassured him, and I said, I'm not going to dump you for being a little younger than I am, that's ridiculous. I'm dumping you because you're a liar and laughingly poor. I'm going to waddle off on this one. So, I haven't decided my gait yet, but I'm going to waddle, I think. I went to the doctor a few weeks ago, and the nurse was going through some possible health problems, asking me if I had experienced any sudden bursts of energy or quick, unexpected weight loss. Yeah, I'm not thoroughly convinced this woman understands what a problem is. We just want to rule out any signs of failing health. Bear with us. Are you experiencing inexplicably clear skin? Unearned toned muscles? A sudden feeling of pep and confidence after a night of binge drinking? Anyone following you around with large, anonymous bags of money that you'd like to complain about? Hey, you guys have been great. Thanks so much.